Auckland FC have been held to a third straight draw of the A-League men's season. They've been held to a 2-2 draw at home by the Central Coast Mariners, who sit 10th on the A-League ladder. This was a great entertaining match, with a tight match really making it for a really tough contest. You couldn't really pick who was going to win this game, but 3 goals in the last 20 minutes really made sure that this game was going to be going on to a nice edge heading into those final few minutes of regular time. Despite the draw though, Auckland FC still remain top of the A-League ladder, 4 points clear of second place Western United, and of course the Black Knights still have a game in hand over Western United. I'm Nick from Nickn'detail, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Auckland FC Central Coast Mariners game which took place in Auckland last night. So, let's get into it. That's right, Auckland FC have been held to yet another draw in the A-League, their third straight draw of the season, a 2-2 draw, courtesy of the Central Coast Mariners in Auckland. A strong 14,000 turning out to Go Media Stadium Mount Smart for a great entertaining game of football. Couldn't tell which way this game was going to go, and I think a draw in the end was a respectable result. But Auckland FC still remain top of the table with a game in hand to help as well. So what are my thoughts on this game? As I said, this was such a great game to watch. It was such a tight first half. I mean, picking both teams out, you wouldn't really be able to tell which one was actually going to come out on top. I mean, Auckland FC very much were going in as the favourites, top of the table, have looked really good this season, as we've said in pretty much every single video we've talked about them. The Mariners, they've been actually very disappointing. This is a team that have won the last 2 straight A-League men's titles, including premiership plates as well. And honestly just haven't looked great this season, having once again had a high turnover of players who have picked up overseas opportunities because of how good they were last season, and of course even the season before. But as of late, we are seeing this Mariners team start to pick up and kind of show that form they had last season, but despite that, they still remain quite low on that table just because of how their first half of the season went. Of course, I said the 10th on the table at the moment, but they put up a really good fight against Auckland FC, who of course have been very much the benchmark and have set the standards for this A-League men's season to date. And as I said, both teams had their fair share of chances, and very much, as I said, the draw was a respectable result. But you've got to give credit to the Mariners, who put up an absolute great fight here, and very much deserving of a draw, particularly in Auckland as well. While Auckland FC, as I said, a third straight draw for them, they're going to be disappointed with that. Of course, once again, more drop points for the Black Knights, but of course, as I said, they're still 4 points clear at the top of the table. There's only like 3 rounds left of the regular season anyway, so very much that regular 24-game season coming to a close. And of course, as I said, they do have that very important game in hand as well, which of course means they could go as further as 7 points clear at the top of the table if Western United drop points, which doesn't look like that's going to happen because Western United have been very good this season so far. But yes, Auckland FC with that home draw, they're going to be disappointed with that. I mean, a point is better than none, but at home, and of course, when they got their ladder so close like that, you really need to be picking up these points in front of your home crowd. So they'll be frustrated with that, but of course, the international break coming up, a good time to refresh, recover, and of course, get back into it in a couple of weeks' time. So who was my star player for this game? And I'm going to give a shout out this week actually to Jesse Randall. He's a guy who I've been a little bit critical of this season. I've never really kind of seen his value and his potential he brings to the squad, but has started the last couple of games, and I honestly just have to give him massive credit. He's actually been really good. I think, obviously, with Max Mata out injured, and of course, Liam Gillian reportedly also out injured, but also just the way he's been playing this season so far and the new signings coming in, he's been able to kind of get his way back up that picking order, because at the start of the season, he was really nowhere near making that matchday squad even. Like, he was even struggling getting in to that matchday team. But Jesse Randall, the last couple of games he's been in that starting 11, has looked really good. He's got a couple goals, he's got a couple assists, and set up a lovely goal for Guillermo Mai to score the opener of the game with a lovely cross there from out wide on the left-hand side. And as I said, has just looked really good over the last couple of weeks. I feel like now we're seeing him getting more game time. We're seeing the confidence and the potential he has shown, and of course that's very much been seen by the All Whites. Darren Baisley handing him a call-up for their upcoming World Cup qualifiers. So I think that just puts into perspective just how good Jesse Randall has been over these last couple of games since he's kind of made his way back in to the Auckland FC squad, very much at the start of the year where he was really able to get his foot back into that Auckland FC squad, and as I said, he's been making the most of it, and of course, as I said, an All Whites call-up to back him with that too. So I've got nothing but praise for Jesse Randall so far and how he's been over these last couple of games. I know, as I said, I have been a little bit critical of him. I've not really been the biggest advocate for Jesse Randall, but very much seeing him play more games now, definitely seeing why he's actually a very useful player to have in the squad, and of course, still young as well, so of course, plenty more potential to come out of him, but very much a good performance performance from the winger. He is my star player. Good performance by Jesse Randall. So what's next for Auckland FC? Well, as I said, the international break is this week, which means there's no A-League football. So Auckland FC won't be back into action until next week, where they'll take on the Brisbane Roar at Suncorp Stadium. Relatively looking this one on paper, and of course, Auckland FC beat Brisbane Roar comfortably in their first game of their season. This should be a comfortable game for Auckland FC to go to Brisbane and get the 3 points. But Brisbane Roar have actually been not too bad over these last few games. They recently just picked up a 3-1 win away at Perth Glory, where they were 1-0 down after the first few minutes. But I feel like we're seeing what this young Brisbane Roar side can bring. So this might not be the most easiest games of Auckland FC, particularly in Brisbane as well. So don't at all count out Brisbane Roar in this game. But Auckland FC very much, as you would expect, will be going into this game as the favourites. So that won't take place until next Sunday night. So obviously not this Sunday, the Sunday after. And of course that will be at Suncorp Stadium in Brisbane. Of course, A-League football pausing for this week for the international break. Of course, the All Whites in World Cup qualifying action. So of course no A-League football for this week, but next week it will resume, and Auckland FC will be in Brisbane next to take on the Brisbane Roar, who sit 12th on the table at the moment. So that's going to be it for me. As I said, a great game of football to watch. Obviously, big credit to the Central Coast Mariners, who, of course, over the last few games have kind of been showing what they can do, and, of course, very much showing why they are very much, of course, the current back-to-back A-League men's champions. But Auckland FC, of course, another drop another drop 2 points at home, I should say, rather for them, and they'll be disappointed with that. But as I said, this international break is probably going to be needed for them. Had a tough couple of last games, and this break will just give them that refresh and that re-energizing they need to get back up and very much extend that gap further at the top of the table. That's going to be it from me, and until next time, I'll see you later.